Trapped in me, there's an African child. There's a little African child trapped in me. Can I use USAID to get it out, or would that just not work? Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Remember, we stream as part of Rumble's fantastic new lineup at these times. Crowder's there, Tim Pool is there, your favourite conspiracy theorists and crackpots and free speakers all corralled together. Join us there to hear opinions like these that the establishment won't and don't want you to hear. USAID was a blag, always a blag. Ah, you racist, you horrible racist. Here is a former African Union ambassador explaining to Al Jazeera why USAID was a massive con. This should blow AOC's mind right out of the water. This should knock Kamala Harris's pants right down. This should make Joe Biden sit up straight and say, Hunter! Because it exposes to my former lefty liberal progressive cronies that they're living in planet bullshit, which might be a nice place to live if you don't mind the smell of bullshit, but they can't force the rest of us to live there. Bill Gates, one of their heroes who Katie Couric lines up to offer hagiographies to, is of course the chief avatar, almost the Nebuchadnezzar of bullshit. And here he sits, proud and pompous, with a picture of himself on the cover of his biography, telling us why we should all give him money. Well, here, check this out. Africa don't want Bill Gates' help. This is from 2022, where an open letter had to be written to him to ask him to get his dirty little digits that probably still smell of a lifeguard on Epstein Island out of Africa's affairs. So have a look at these two brilliant videos. One, this African ambassador. Now, what I love about this is an African woman sort of going, listen, they're telling you they're helping. They ain't helping. They're using it as an excuse to take your money and to control you. This isn't from Tommy Robinson. It's not from Andrew Tate. It's not from Donald Trump. It's not from Elon Musk. It's not from any of the cavalcade of villains that the progressives would conjure up to justify their bullshit. It's from an African woman. You listen to her. She's serious. We should get her on the show, man. We should get this woman on the show. She's absolutely fantastic. She's explaining it exactly how it is. Watch it. Arm yourself, because it is wrong to be racist. You should never be racist. Racism is disgusting. But this woman describes that all of that USAID stuff was never about racism. It's about control. And then we'll show you Bill Gates, that little hobgoblin pipsqueak, sitting there simpering like Gollum with his new book with Katie Couric, acting like we need him to help. We don't need him to help. Get your help out of my arsehole. Thanks.
We need to understand the real reason why USAID is in Africa. And not just USAID, but other NGOs. You look at DFID, which is the British equivalent, and many other smaller ones. Their sole purpose was to act as if they're coming to rescue Africa. They're coming to fill in the gaps in government services, gaps in education, gaps in healthcare, gaps in humanitarian services. They're coming in the guise of addressing issues to do with human rights, issues to do with environmental protection and social justice. They are coming in claiming that they are introducing grassroots initiatives that are going to help the people. And so they use that as a way to go into the most remote parts of Africa. They're talking about government advocacy. When you look at it on paper, it all looks really good. But they're actually wolf in sheep's clothing. They are using that open access sounding humanitarian to constantly destabilize governments. I can tell you right now, the majority of African leaders, and not just African leaders, but leaders in the developing world, are celebrating the exit of USAID. I was listening to a program, I believe it was CNN, and I was jumping up and down. It was a government official from Hungary. He was echoing the same sentiment. He said they are happy USAID is leaving Hungary because they are always supporting opposition. Their form of government advocacy is supporting whoever can keep the government in a turmoil.
So, Ambassador, let me just jump in here for you. This is a message that I don't think many Americans hear. I think many Americans believe, not all of them, but many of them believe that AID was essentially set up for philanthropic reasons, for dealing with the HIV/AIDS crisis, dealing with the various instabilities in the region, dealing with infrastructure deficits. But you're saying that there was something else as part of that package, meddling.
A major meddling agenda. Major meddling agenda. The majority of some of the workers, now the average USAID worker may not realize it, but quite a few of them are also operatives who are underground, and their major agenda is to destabilize governments, destabilize countries. If you think about it, their sole purpose, for example, filling in the gaps in healthcare and education, where is the change? Show me one country that USAID was in and education improved. Show me what country where USAID was in and healthcare improved. The social services they're bringing, it's peanuts. The American taxpayer needs to know the billions of dollars that are being given to USAID, a fraction is making it to the people.
Okay, so if you absorb that, Al Jazeera, African Union, these are not racist people. Al Jazeera is pretty far left, I would say, or it's certainly not racist or far right. And I don't imagine that woman there who's an African Union ambassador is like, is she racist now? Is she racist? I don't know, man. What does it take? There's no reason why she's going to be racist. Turns out, if you don't agree with them, you're a racist, you're a rapist, you're a something, whatever it takes to stop being listened to. Here's Bill Gates on Katie Couric, basically saying what Bill Gates is always saying. Why don't you listen to me? Why don't you just do what I say? I invented a type of software. I bet he didn't even invent that software. I bet it's one of those things, isn't it, where it was a CIA-sponsored thing. Anyway, let's listen to the dude trying to flog his autobiography.
Will you call Elon Musk, because as the head of Doge, or whatever that agency is?
Yeah, I don't even know. Is it called Doge? I don't know. I'm too left-wing to know whether it's called Doge or not. I don't even take it seriously. I'm too busy sitting here next to this wonky bookshelf. Look, the bookshelf's wonky, or they ain't framed the shop. Either way, something ain't right.
He's made moves, as you know, to shut down USAID. He says, quote, with the blessing of President Trump.
I better have a drink. I better have a drink. Think, Bill. Think. How can we make this not go round to Epstein Island? Think, Bill. Think. Get the Rumble app now and experience content like never before. It's available on Android and iOS, which I suppose is just an iPhone. Don't get confused. And you can take Rumble with you wherever you go, when you're on the move or just relaxing at home, or maybe you're putting your hand in your butt crack and wiping it on a Cybertruck because you're mental. You've gone mad. You can listen to Rumble while you're doing that. Want to enjoy it on a big screen? No problem. Rumble's available on Apple TV, Roku, which pushes porn. Remember you told me that? Amazon Fire, LG Smart TVs, and Samsung TV apps, all giving you the power of Rumble at your fingertips, although you might have put your finger up your butt in a protest against a Cybertruck. Dirty pigs, yeah. Rumble's the platform that gives you the freedom to watch what you want when you want. Download the Rumble app today. Make sure to follow my channel to receive live notifications. Follow me, but ultimately follow him. And use Rumble. And don't put your own hand up your butt and wipe it on a side. I can't tell you how that undermines your protest.
And on his platform X, he called the government agency evil and a viper's nest of radical left Marxists who hate America.
Katie Couric is very happy to say, oh, it's Elon Musk calling it a viper's nest. Well, what is Dr. Arikana Fuck. Look, I'm English. Dr. Arikana Chihombori Kwao from Zimbabwe saying, is she a racist now? Does she run a bad platform? Do you see they don't focus on that bit of information? What we have to do, you and I, is we have to make sure that we absorb as much as we can, and then we can aggregate it together and we'll get much closer to truth. That I truly, truly do believe. I'm just so happy that I said that woman's name right. I've been thinking about that for the last 1 minute.
Adding that it was time for it to die. We got so many questions, Bill, for you on Threads, my followers.
Did ya? Because there's only about 5 people on Threads. Who's on Threads? Threads? What are these Threads emerging from? They're wispy little a-holes. I'm on Threads to protest. I'm on Threads. I saw something on X that hurt my feelings. That's why I'm on Threads. If you're on Threads, you're a pedophile.
And Do you think that Elon Musk, or for that matter, Donald Trump, after you all had that 3-hour dinner and talked about the important work that organizations like this do you think anybody's going to listen?
I'm very hopeful that the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, who was in Africa and saw this great work, and President Trump will work to preserve the bulk of what's there, whether that...
That it, mate. That it. Well, also, you did a lot of good work, didn't you, on that? What was that other country you used to go to a lot? I can't remember the name. It was an island, a little island. Oh, yeah, I remember. Epstein Island. Same shape as the Nickelodeon logo.
That named agency stays in place, whether every program does. But, an abrupt ending of that work would really put to the test, is it in the value of Americans to take 0.5% of the budget and keep tens of millions of Africans alive? Or have we sort of overnight decided that 0.5% shouldn't be spent that way? And
go back to Dr. Arikana. I can't do the surname again. It's too difficult. What does she say? Who are you going to trust? Oh, that's weird. Should we trust you, a white man, Bill Gates, over that black African woman? Uh-oh. We're in the progressive bind, because if you can't use your tokenism in the way that you have been to shut down the voices and discredit the voices of ordinary Americans because they're racist or rapists or whatever it is this week, then how are you going to bypass the problem of Dr. Arikana saying this whole thing's a plan? Oh, what is she? Was she funded by Hitler? Is that Hitler after a sex change after they fled to Argentina?
It is a political question. I have a clear point of view.
Why has he got 2 drinks?
I know great people in that agency.
And it's not just Africa, by the way. It's all over the world.
It is. It's mostly the benefits of that work of USAID broadly are global. The HIV work, because of the nature of the epidemic, is about 80% in Africa. And the things USAID funds, I fund.
What a coincidence. They're doing it live. Seems to be some crossover between USAID, globalism, pandemics, outbreaks of diseases, and taking American taxpayer dollars to do stuff that the people themselves and their representatives say isn't helping them and they don't want anymore. But we know best because we're white.
With billions of dollars. And, I'm very careful to make sure that money is well spent. And so I think naively, people hear the most random foreign aid things and think, okay, it's all like that. So I have a challenge to say to Americans, is this in your value system?
Is it in your value system to keep going to Epstein Island? Will you please release the files? Can we have the files?
And, does it benefit our security or our moral example to keep these programs going? And I think people of both parties will find this a deeply moral and important thing to keep strong.
Yep, that's right. Well, listen, if I'd have spent as much time dotting around island hopping as dear old Bill, which one is that? Gates. I get all my bills mixed up. Gates, Cosby, Clinton. Well, whichever Bill it is there that's participating in globalism and vast organised sexual misconduct, allegedly, innocent till proven guilty. I'd say that I would go with what the people of Africa and their various elected officials and leaders say. And according to Dr. Arikana Chiomborikwa, sorry for the cut, it's a difficult name to say, according to her, they don't want Bill Gates' Epstein Island fingers in their African affairs. So I reckon I'd rather listen to her on Al Jazeera than Bill Gates on Katie Couric and telling us that he needs your tax dollars in order to continue helping them with help they don't really want. I hope stuff like that didn't go on Epstein Island. People getting offered help they didn't want. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments and the chat? Join us over on Rumble for our new lineup. We stream every day at these times. In the meantime, if you can, stay free. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.